Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Justin with the Millennial Mixtape, back again with another album review/reaction. This time we're talking about Donald Glover's latest, or Childish Gambino's latest. It's like Batman, right? Which one wears the mask? Is it Donald Glover? Is it Childish Gambino? We don't really know. Anyway, so on Sunday of this past week, he released his latest album called 3/15/20. We've been waiting for this since at least 2017 when he put out a statement saying he would put one more album out under the Childish Gambino name. Is that true? We'll see, right? We'll have to watch and see. But everybody's been waiting for this album. It's finally here, and I'm excited to take a dive with you and see what we think about it. So, coming back after the break. All right, thanks for tuning back in. And again, if you like the content I'm putting out, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell gizmo when you see it. Likes and subs are appreciated. So let's talk about this album very quickly. Now, in 2017, Donald Glover put out a statement saying that he would put one more album out under the Childish Gambino name. Now it's here, but between that time and now, he released a few singles to give us kind of a clue of where he was going. The first single dropped in 2018. That was This America. He released that when he was co-headlining on SNL. Co-headlining meaning he was the host and the musical guest, or dual headlining, bi-headlining, I don't know, that's not important. But when he was hosting Saturday Night Live in 2018, he dropped This America and it went viral. The video was insane. I loved it. It was great. A lot of discussion about it, about the politics that were presented in the video. And we also had Childish Gambino's take on technology as a whole, how we felt about the addiction of it and how it was taking over people's desire to do better. People would rather film incidents than report on them and take action. So it's, relevant, right? He also had a single come out that was part of his tour. People that bought tickets to the This Is America tour received two singles, one of which was Feels Like Summer. That was the second single he released since making that statement in 2017. That song made it to this album. This Is America did not. Now, that song on this album is not called This Is America. It's actually called 4226. We'll get to that in a minute. But a couple things about this album quickly. It was produced by mostly Donald Glover, as well as DJ Dahi, Goranson, and Hodge on a few tracks. But it's got a great sound. I was trying to determine how I felt about this. So the sound of this album, just in particular, or in general, to me it feels like if John Hughes was making a teenage comedy in 2020 and the world was on fire, this would be the soundtrack to it. And I wonder why the world feels like it's on fire right now. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. But to me, that's kind of like the perfect, if you think about 16 Candles, the song by the Thompson Twins, If You Were Here, this is almost like, it's weirdly almost like an extension of that, right? So it's like Donald Glover was listening to that and watching 16 Candles and was like, hey, I think I could add something to this, which sounds weird, but listen to that song and then come back and listen to a couple songs here. In particular, it was 1238 that I was getting that vibe from. So if you go and listen to the two, I would love to hear what you think in the comments. Let me know and we can maybe talk that out. Didn't record that last whole section. All right, so 3, 2, 1. Now we're recording. Okay, so I want to talk about the album just kind of as a whole. I said previously that I enjoy it. That's still true. I said previously that it's got this Hughesian flair to it. That's also still true, at least from my perspective, but obviously you would have different interpretations or different feelings towards it. But with this album, I feel like there's been this progression to Donald Glover over the past few years since he started releasing music under the Childish Gambino name, where like he's almost got this Dr. Manhattan view of the world, and he's been getting more and more frustrated the more and more isolated he becomes at what he's seeing out there, if that makes sense. I don't know, you tell me. But there's themes that recur throughout this album: distrust of technology, loneliness, uncertainty, doomsday, all of those things. It's just this is the kind of thing you need to pick you up right now. You need to listen to this album right now. But so there's a lot of things that are here to chew on, and with that, I listened to the album through about 3 times to get a well-formed opinion on it, and not once did I feel like it was a chore. So as I said, he has this kind of schematic approach to it where Donald Glover is clearly very well read. He's very well versed in different forms of media. He is able to draw from a lot. The content with which he pulls into his album, the content of the album, there's a lot. I mean, he had his Jehovah's Witness upbringing, so he's got the biblical sense. He's had years and years in the entertainment industry, so he's got that perspective as well. There's a lot for him to draw on, and it's presented well, but it's presented kind of like you take salt and throw it, right? It kind of just goes everywhere, like buckshot, just goes everywhere. Now, thematically within the album, very few parts of the album feel like they're working in tandem with each other outside of those just broad themes. Now, there's one song in particular that jumped out at me. It was 3531. The outgoing lyrics of 3531 are the lyrics that you'll find in verse 2 of 3928. And so that was kind of one little like hook and line that you had to follow. But I didn't find that happening very often throughout the other songs. Now, musically, I love what he's doing. The inspiration for the music is clearly coming from many different places. 3222 has this kind of African tribal beat that goes throughout, but it sounds like it's been put through an organ grinder. It's just kind of abrasive, and which is fine, it's fun, but it's different sounding, and I can't for the life of me recall this band. It was a trance band from India that I heard forever ago, and if you can find their name, I can't remember, but they were really well known for using elephant sounds in the music. So if you can find that and link that below, that'd be great, because I can't place it, but it reminded me a lot of that. Like, there's a lot of extraneous and extrapolated sounds that just kind of blended but also didn't. So again, schismatic, right? It's blends but doesn't, and it's very, I don't know. Let's talk about the songs I enjoyed. So Time was great. I really enjoyed Ariana Grande's backing vocals there. Also 1238 is probably my favorite lyrically. I think it's kind of hilarious, but not to belittle the creativity and work that went into it for Donald Glover or Childish Gambino, but I do think that the music that's there is funny, and I really appreciated was it 21 Savage, his part in the song. Now, the song that he'll probably release as a single, if he's planning to take the kind of traditional route, is going to be Algorithm. I feel like that's the most approachable for people that maybe only know him from This Is America and Feels Like Summer. But if that's not the direction he goes, he'll probably go with Time as far as what his first single will be. Now, what's interesting about this album is it was released or leaked on March 15th, where it was available for a few hours and then it was gone. And then it was on his website, Donald Glover Presents. The album was leaked or released on March 15th, and then it was gone, and in its place was a counting down to Sunday. So yeah, I think this is an album that the more people get their teeth into it and kind of chew on a little bit, there will be a lot more discussion about the content of it. And I mean, Donald Glover, to my knowledge, has not typically been one to divulge or discuss the meanings of his songs. He's more apt to let his fans do that, but he probably won't say a lot about what he was thinking behind the generation of these songs, and that's totally fine. The more he lets the fans, which is something I appreciate, the more he lets the fans interpret and bring in their own feelings for what he means, which is a good and a bad thing, the more we are enabled to enjoy it for what we see it as. So give the album a listen. Let me know what you think. I would say it's worth checking out. If you are curious about Childish Gambino, if you want to see what could possibly be his last album ever, give it a listen, and then let me know what you think down below. All right, so that is it for me. I'm Justin with the Millennial Mixtape. If you like the new setting, let me know in the comments. If you don't like it, also let me know in the comments, because I know some of you will, and I'm very excited to read those. They give me a good chuckle. But until next time, I will see you. Stay safe, stay well.